Imagine standing alone in a vast forest, no map in hand, no voice to guide you. There you confront the truth: no one is coming to rescue you. This moment might terrify you, but it is also the moment of liberation, for now you realize that the path ahead is yours to create. We often live in the illusion that someone somewhere has the answers we seek. A mentor, a savior, a guide, someone who will make sense of the chaos for us. But what if this belief is a distraction? What if the only real guide is within you? Self-reliance is often perceived as a solitary journey, a path walked alone with no external assistance. However, the essence of self-reliance is not about isolation. It is about empowerment, the recognition and trust in your own ability to navigate the complexities of life. It is a process of acknowledging that while the world is interconnected, the most profound growth and transformation occur when we turn inward and recognize the power within ourselves to create, adapt, and overcome obstacles. In today's fast-paced, interconnected world, we are often encouraged to seek validation from external sources, be it through social approval, external achievements, or seeking answers from those we perceive as more knowledgeable or experienced. We place faith in mentors, leaders, or institutions to guide us through challenges, believing that their insight, support, or approval will pave the way towards success. While guidance and shared wisdom can be valuable, the danger lies in the dependency they create, a dependency that blinds us to our own inner resources. When we rely solely on others for validation or direction, we risk forfeiting our autonomy and diminishing our confidence in our personal abilities. We come to believe that we are incomplete without external assistance, that our worth is determined by others' perspectives. But true empowerment arises when we recognize that no one else can walk the path for us. No matter how wise or supportive others may be, the responsibility for our journey ultimately rests with us. We are the architects of our own lives, and the foundation of that construction lies in our ability to act, to make decisions, and to adapt. Self-reliance does not mean that we reject others or deny the importance of collaboration. It does not suggest that we operate in a vacuum, isolated from relationships and shared experiences. Quite the opposite, true self-reliance is deeply connected to the world. It acknowledges that while external guidance can provide insights and perspectives, the act of taking ownership of our lives is what empowers us to grow and evolve. We learn from others, but ultimately we must synthesize that knowledge and take it into our own hands. Empowerment through self-reliance involves a shift in mindset, a shift from waiting for permission, external validation, or a right moment to act, to recognizing that every moment is the right moment to begin. It means taking responsibility for your dreams, your choices, and your actions. It's about trusting that even in uncertainty, you have the capacity to navigate through adversity and create the life you envision. This self-empowerment allows us to become creative beings. When we rely solely on external validation, we often conform to expectations and limit our capacity for innovation. But when we act independently, we unlock our potential to experiment, take risks, and learn from failure. Creativity flourishes when we believe in our ability to shape the outcomes, regardless of external validation. The act of creating, whether it's building a business, writing a book, pursuing a passion, or solving a problem, becomes an expression of our own internal guidance, our unique perspective, and our willingness to face the unknown. Self-reliance teaches resilience. In moments of difficulty or challenge, we may look for support, but the true test of our strength lies in how we respond when no external assistance is available. It is in those moments that we realize that our inner resolve, our capacity for introspection, and our trust in our abilities are what sustain us. Building this inner strength helps us become adaptable, patient, and capable of navigating both triumphs and setbacks without becoming dependent on external circumstances or people. Self-reliance fosters a deeper sense of authenticity. In a world where social media often promotes curated versions of reality, where success is measured in likes and shares, it is easy to lose sight of who we truly are. By depending solely on external validation, we risk losing our true voice and inner purpose. However, when we cultivate self-reliance, we come closer to living authentically, aligning our actions with our personal values, intuition, and beliefs. This authenticity is not dependent on external approval, but rather a reflection of who we are at our core. Self-reliance is an empowering journey that involves trusting in the power within ourselves. It is not about denying the importance of relationships or collaboration, but recognizing that the most meaningful and sustainable growth occurs when we take responsibility for our own path. By embracing this responsibility, we awaken our creativity, resilience, and authenticity qualities that enable us to navigate life's complexities with confidence and purpose. The illusion of dependence is a pervasive mindset that shapes how many approach life's challenges and opportunities. It is the belief that we need external forces, guidance, or assistance to succeed, as if we are incapable of moving forward without the support of others. This illusion creates a cycle where we look to others for validation, answers, or solutions, often convincing ourselves that we are incomplete or inadequate on our own. However, this mindset obscures a powerful truth that within ourselves we already possess the strength, knowledge, and capacity to navigate life's complexities. When we view ourselves as dependent beings, we surrender our agency, assuming that the key to progress lies outside of us. Whether it's seeking approval from peers, mentors, or societal expectations, we often wait for permission or acknowledgement to act. This dependency can become a limiting belief, preventing us from recognizing our inner capabilities and diminishing our confidence in taking initiative. We may feel paralyzed by the thought that we must rely on the right person, the right opportunity, or the right circumstance to move forward, but this mindset is rooted in an illusion that our success is tied to something external. Dependency can be comforting because it removes the burden of responsibility and creates the illusion of security. If something goes wrong, we have someone else to blame, to lean on, or to guide us out of difficulty. Yet this reliance keeps us in a state of vulnerability. True empowerment, however, comes from understanding that relying too heavily on external forces often limits our potential. When we rely solely on others, we abdicate control over our own journey, leaving us susceptible to circumstances beyond our influence. This disconnection from our internal strength leads to stagnation, as we wait for external forces to dictate the direction of our lives. The illusion of dependence also promotes a form of passivity and expectation that life will somehow unfold as we want it to without active engagement on our part. We tell ourselves that if the right people show up, if the right opportunities appear, or if certain conditions are met, then everything will fall into place. But life rarely unfolds in such a predictable or linear way. Instead, it is a dynamic, ever-changing experience where adaptability and personal initiative are necessary to thrive. The illusion of dependence often limits our ability to learn and grow. When we constantly seek guidance or approval from others, we miss opportunities for personal insight and self-discovery. We become reliant on others' perspectives, opinions, and feedback, believing that their assessments are the only valid indicators of success or worth. However, true understanding comes from within. It is in the process of reflecting on our own actions, decisions, and outcomes that we cultivate wisdom. When we remove the crutch of dependence, we challenge ourselves to explore new possibilities and to embrace discomfort as a catalyst for transformation. Another consequence of clinging to dependency is the stifling of innovation. Many of the world's greatest ideas and achievements were born from individuals who acted independently, often in the face of skepticism or rejection from the mainstream. Thinkers like pioneers in science, artists, and entrepreneurs started by trusting their own visions, refusing to follow conventional paths simply because others told them it was the right way. They acted without waiting for external validation, guided by an internal drive to create and innovate. Similarly, when we reject the illusion of dependence, we unlock our capacity to think outside the box, to challenge norms, and to create something uniquely our own. Breaking free from the illusion of dependence requires a radical shift in how we view ourselves and our relationship to the world. It requires us to embrace responsibility, recognizing that we hold the power to shape our own lives, regardless of external circumstances. This does not mean disregarding relationships or collaborations. Instead, it means understanding that our growth stems from within, even when others offer guidance or support. By acknowledging that our true strength lies in our ability to act and trust in ourselves, we remove the limitations imposed by dependency and step into a fuller, more authentic expression of who we are. In this realization, we discover that the help we once sought from others was often just a reflection of our own doubts. True empowerment emerges when we let go of the illusion that someone else holds the key to our success, and instead cultivate the belief that we are capable of creating our own path, regardless of outside influences. This is the essence of personal growth, seeing past the illusion and realizing that everything we need to succeed is already within us. The concept of the interconnected self invites us to reconsider how we exist in the world, not as isolated individuals, but as deeply intertwined beings connected to a larger whole. While it is true that each person has a unique journey, shaped by their own choices and experiences, this individuality does not negate our connection to others and the world around us. In fact, understanding our interconnectedness enhances our ability to navigate life with greater purpose and awareness. It is through this lens that we recognize that self-reliance does not mean complete independence, but rather the ability to find balance between individuality and unity. Throughout history, humans have often grappled with this tension between self and others. On one hand, there is a strong desire to assert personal agency, to carve a path that feels authentic and in alignment with who we are. On the other hand, there is an innate understanding that our actions ripple outward, affecting not only ourselves but those around us, whether they are friends, family, communities, or the global environment. This tension highlights the reality that we cannot exist in isolation, for even the most solitary experiences are informed by relationships, circumstances, and shared values. When we embrace the interconnected self, we begin to understand that while our personal journey is unique, it is deeply influenced by the web of relationships and circumstances that shape our lives. Every choice we make is not solely for our benefit. It extends to those we encounter and interact with, often in ways we may not immediately recognize. For example, the way we communicate with others, the thoughts we express, and the actions we take have a ripple effect beyond our immediate understanding. Whether we are aware of it or not, we are always part of something larger, a social fabric that connects us to countless others in both visible and invisible ways. This interconnectedness also underscores the importance of collaboration and empathy. While self-reliance is necessary for personal growth, acknowledging our interconnectedness reminds us of the value of working with others. We may have individual goals and aspirations, but they are rarely achieved in a vacuum. Whether it is building a business, solving a societal problem, or creating art, the process is enriched when we include diverse perspectives and understand that our actions can inspire and support others, just as theirs can inspire us. By recognizing this interconnectedness, we shift from a mindset of competition to one of cooperation, fostering an environment where growth is collective, not solely individual. Understanding the interconnected self allows us to develop a deeper sense of responsibility for the world we inhabit. When we recognize that our choices impact not just our immediate surroundings, but also future generations and the planet as a whole, we become more conscious of the consequences of our actions. This consciousness leads to mindful living, making decisions that not only serve our individual desires, but also consider their broader impact on the world. The interconnected self reminds us that seeking external validation is not a reflection of weakness, but rather a temporary misunderstanding of the web of relationships that already exist. While feedback and support from others can be helpful, we come to understand that our sense of self does not hinge solely on external affirmations. Instead, it is rooted in our ability to reflect on how we contribute to this interconnected web and how our experiences are shaped by it. In the modern age, where digital communication and global networks bring people closer together than ever before, this interconnectedness becomes even more evident. Social media platforms, virtual communities, and global discussions illustrate how ideas and actions transcend geographical boundaries. The impact of our thoughts, opinions, and choices is amplified, reinforcing the idea that we are not alone in our pursuits. Every idea shared, every action taken becomes a part of the collective narrative, adding value to the collective experience. The interconnected self is a reminder that while we celebrate individuality, we must also honor the broader context within which we operate. True self-reliance is not about isolating oneself from this interconnected web, but rather navigating it with intention and understanding. By embracing this interconnection, we cultivate a more holistic approach to life, one that integrates self-awareness with a deep sense of purpose, responsibility, and empathy toward the world around us. The creative spark is a fundamental aspect of the human experience, a force that drives innovation, problem-solving, and personal expression. It is the moment when ideas come to life, when something that once existed only in the realm of possibility begins to take form in the physical world. Creativity is not confined to artists, writers, or entrepreneurs. It is a universal trait that resides within every individual, waiting to be cultivated and embraced. However, the path of creativity is often misunderstood or underappreciated, with many believing that it is something bestowed upon the gifted or reserved for a select few. In reality, the creative spark is accessible to anyone willing to tap into their inner potential and act upon their instincts. At the heart of the creative process lies action. A creative idea, no matter how brilliant, holds little power without the willingness to bring it into existence. This is where many individuals falter. They get caught up in analysis, fear, or a need for external validation, waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions to act. However, creativity thrives in uncertainty and imperfection. It emerges not from perfect clarity, but from trial and error, from experimentation, and from the courage to take the first step without knowing exactly where it will lead. The creative spark is not linear or predictable. It often appears when we least expect it, during quiet reflection, unexpected moments of inspiration, or in the midst of struggle. Sometimes it arises from seemingly mundane experiences, like walking in nature, engaging in conversation, or reflecting on past failures. This spark is a reminder that creativity is not a fixed attribute, but a dynamic process that can be awakened at any time when we open ourselves to possibility. In many cases, the creative spark is suppressed by fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of inadequacy can paralyze individuals, preventing them from acting on their ideas. We convince ourselves that we are not creative enough, or that our ideas aren't valuable enough to bring into the world. However, true creativity flourishes when we confront and transcend these fears. It is through this willingness to face uncertainty and discomfort that we unlock our most authentic expressions of creativity. Every great innovation, whether it's a groundbreaking scientific discovery, an artistic masterpiece, or a revolutionary business model, began with someone embracing the discomfort of uncertainty and taking the leap into the unknown. The process of creation often involves breaking traditional boundaries and embracing the unconventional. Innovation thrives when we challenge norms, explore uncharted territories, and disrupt established systems. The creative spark ignites when we allow ourselves to step beyond the familiar and into uncharted territory. It is here that novel solutions are born, where perspectives are reshaped, and where transformation takes place. The creative spark is not confined to solitary endeavors. While individual creativity is powerful, it is often enhanced and enriched through collaboration. The greatest ideas emerge when people from different backgrounds, disciplines, and experiences come together to exchange ideas, perspectives, and insights. Creativity becomes a collective endeavor when we understand that the act of creation is iterative, something that involves dialogue, experimentation, and feedback from others. This interconnected approach to creativity reminds us that innovation is often the result of diverse minds working together to push boundaries and challenge limits. Another key aspect of the creative spark is its potential for personal and emotional growth. As we engage in the creative process, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. Creativity is not just about creating something external, it is also about self-expression, revealing facets of our thoughts, beliefs, and experiences that may have been hidden or unexplored. When we embrace creativity, we invite introspection, fostering a richer connection with our true selves and the world around us. The creative spark is the source of vitality and progress. It propels us forward, inspiring change and growth in every area of life, from the smallest personal endeavors to the most impactful societal shifts. And while it may seem fleeting or elusive at times, it is always accessible when we cultivate the right conditions, trusting our instincts, embracing uncertainty, and acting without the need for external validation. Creativity, in its purest form, emerges when we embrace the idea that we are not limited by circumstances or perceived limitations, but rather empowered by the boundless potential within us to create something meaningful. Freedom is often thought of as the ability to act without constraint or limitation. We tend to associate freedom with choices, independence, and the liberation from external pressures. However, true freedom is not just the absence of constraints, it is deeply intertwined with responsibility. The idea of freedom without responsibility is a fleeting illusion. In reality, the greatest freedom comes when we fully embrace our responsibilities, because it is through responsibility that we gain the power to shape our own lives and the world around us. Responsibility may feel burdensome to some. It can feel like a weight that restricts our choices, holding us accountable for outcomes that we might prefer to avoid. Yet responsibility is the very foundation upon which genuine freedom is built. It is the willingness to take ownership of our actions, decisions, and the consequences that follow. Without it, freedom becomes shallow, unanchored, and ultimately unsatisfying. When we shirk responsibility, we relinquish our ability to truly influence the direction of our lives. We become passive, waiting for external forces or circumstances to dictate our path, rather than taking an active role in shaping our reality. In its fullest sense, is about the capacity to act with intention and purpose. And with that capacity comes the necessity to respond to the outcomes of our actions, both positive and negative. For instance, pursuing a dream, starting a business, or creating art requires a deep sense of responsibility. We are responsible for setting the vision, making decisions, and putting in the necessary effort to bring those visions to life. Along the way, challenges will arise, setbacks, failures, and unforeseen difficulties, and it is our responsibility to navigate those challenges with resilience and integrity. True freedom lies not in avoiding these responsibilities, but in facing them head-on and using them as stepping stones for growth. When we accept responsibility, we simultaneously gain control over our lives. By choosing to act and take responsibility for our outcomes, we break free from the confines of waiting for permission or external validation. In essence, we are no longer reliant on the approval of others or the circumstances that seem outside of our control. We take ownership of our successes and failures, and in doing so, we reclaim our power. This sense of agency empowers us to create meaningful change, both in our personal lives and in the world around us. Embracing responsibility allows for deeper, more authentic freedom. When we avoid responsibility, we often live in a state of denial, believing that we can bypass challenges or that outcomes will be someone else's fault. This denial may offer a temporary sense of liberation, but it quickly becomes hollow. It prevents us from learning, growing, and discovering our full potential. Responsibility invites us to engage fully with our lives, to confront the realities of our actions, and to adapt as necessary. Through this process, we uncover our true selves, free from the constraints of illusion and self-deception. In addition, freedom through responsibility fosters accountability not just to others, but to ourselves. Accountability keeps us grounded, ensuring that we remain aligned with our values and intentions. When we hold ourselves accountable, we make choices that reflect our deeper purpose and long-term well-being, rather than simply seeking immediate gratification or external approval. This accountability builds a sense of trust not only with others but with ourselves, and serves as a foundation for long-lasting freedom. Freedom through responsibility is an ongoing journey. It evolves as we face new challenges and responsibilities. It does not present a final destination, but rather a continuous process of growth and self-discovery. As we take responsibility for our choices and actions, we begin to understand that freedom is not something that can be handed to us. It is something we create through our willingness to engage fully with life, to act with intention, and to respond with integrity. True freedom is found not in the absence of responsibility, but in its embrace. Responsibility offers us the opportunity to take control of our lives, to shape our destiny, and to fully experience the complexities of existence. When we step into this responsibility, we step into a deeper, more fulfilling form of freedom, one that is rooted in authenticity, agency, and personal empowerment. It is through this recognition that we understand that freedom is not something to be passively attained, but something to be actively cultivated through intentional and responsible living. Adversity is often perceived as a barrier, something that prevents us from moving forward, achieving our goals, or becoming the person we aspire to be. It is associated with difficulty, discomfort, and even failure, a series of challenges that we seek to overcome or avoid. However, the truth is that adversity holds a profound potential for growth. It is in the face of struggle, uncertainty, and hardship that we are pushed beyond our comfort zones and forced to develop qualities that we may never have accessed otherwise. Growth through adversity is not just about surviving difficulties, it is about transforming them into opportunities for self-improvement and resilience. One of the greatest misconceptions about adversity is that it diminishes our capabilities. We tend to view challenges as obstacles that impede progress, making us feel powerless or inadequate. But the reality is that adversity offers the space for innovation, self-discovery, and profound transformation. When things are smooth and predictable, we often stagnate, complacent in the familiarity of the status quo. It is only through adversity that we are forced to reflect deeply, adapt creatively, and evolve. Growth through adversity begins with a shift in perspective. Rather than seeing challenges as insurmountable burdens, we can reframe them as opportunities for expansion. Every setback, failure, or difficulty provides a chance to learn something new about ourselves, about the world, or about how we can approach situations differently. Adversity strips away illusions and pushes us to confront uncomfortable truths, revealing strengths we didn't know we had and resilience we didn't realize was possible. In moments of hardship, we are often required to dig deep into our emotional, intellectual, and physical reserves. Facing adversity tests our ability to remain composed, to adapt, and to persevere in the face of uncertainty. Through this process, we build inner strength, a type of fortitude that cannot be acquired through comfort or ease. The ability to endure hardship while maintaining our values and sense of purpose is what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Adversity also fosters empathy and connection. When we face challenges, we are often drawn closer to others who have walked similar paths or who can offer support. In difficult times, our vulnerability creates opportunities for deeper relationships built on understanding, compassion, and shared experiences. This interconnectedness is essential for growth because it reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles, that adversity is a universal human experience that transcends individual differences. Adversity encourages creativity and innovation. Forced to solve problems and navigate obstacles, we are often compelled to think differently, approach situations from new angles, and experiment with unconventional solutions. This creative problem-solving pushes us beyond limitations and helps us generate novel ideas that might have been overlooked in a more comfortable environment. Some of humanity's greatest advancements, whether in science, art, technology, or social justice, emerged from moments of intense adversity and challenge. Furthermore, growth through adversity teaches humility. In times of difficulty, we are reminded of our limitations, our need for help, and the realities of life's uncertainties. Humility allows us to release the illusion of control and surrender to the fact that some circumstances are beyond our immediate grasp. This openness to learning, to receiving, and to accepting that we don't have all the answers becomes a catalyst for growth. Humility creates space for personal transformation and encourages a lifelong pursuit of knowledge and self-awareness. Embracing growth through adversity is about embracing the full spectrum of life's experiences, not just the successes, but also the failures, the discomfort, and the lessons they bring. It's in these moments of hardship that we redefine our limits, reframe our beliefs, and expand our sense of possibility. Growth is never linear, and adversity acts as a teacher, guiding us toward deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. Adversity is not something to be feared or avoided, but embraced as an essential part of the human experience. Through the challenges it presents, we gain resilience, empathy, creativity, and humility, qualities that shape us into more well-rounded, compassionate, and empowered individuals. By shifting our perspective and recognizing adversity as an opportunity for growth, we unlock the potential for transformation and personal mastery. The idea that no one can help you do it yourself speaks to the power of self-reliance, growth, and the interconnectedness of our experiences. While we may seek guidance, support, or inspiration from others, the deepest and most transformative journeys are ones we undertake ourselves. Through embracing responsibility, confronting adversity, and trusting in our inner strength, we tap into a well of potential that allows us to navigate life with authenticity, resilience, and purpose. Every challenge we face and every step we take contributes to our personal evolution, shaping who we are and how we engage with the world. In realizing that we are the architects of our own growth, we empower ourselves to create meaningful change, cultivate meaningful relationships, and cultivate a sense of freedom that is grounded in self-awareness and authenticity.